Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 21 of Project Ozone 3. I want to start today off with an experiment. I want to make us a potion using Botania. So the Botania potion system is, it's kind of like vanilla brewing, except instead of putting like the stuff through a brewing table, you put it on a botanical brewery, blast it with some mana, and you get a potion. The difference is these potions can be used 6 times. Um, 6 times if you have the elf class version, and 4 times if you have the regular version. So you see here, this is a resistance 2 flask, and I have resistance 3 from the everlasting abilities totems. You know, from this guy. I traded in 600 rack to get it 3 times. First of all, I'm also getting some weird graphics glitches today. At least I hope that's just a graphics glitch, not like Abyssalcraft taking over my world. Anyways, I'm hoping that when I drink this, it'll add resistance 2 to 3 and I'll get resistance 5. No such luck. Oh well, it's worth a shot, right? Resistance 5 is 100% damage reduction, which, you know, means you can't die, at least under normal means. Anyways, with that failed experiment out of the way, let's work our way towards the dreaded gateway key. So the recipe for that, this Eye of the Abyss, we have to kill a boss, which, you know, bosses are usually not that difficult, except I've been getting killed a lot in Abyssalcraft, so we'll see if this boss is any different. And this, I notice, we can either craft it through this recipe, which involves, you know, right-clicking. Oh no, I can't right-click Dreadland stuff yet, can I? So I guess we have to use this recipe. Doesn't look that bad. I think the only thing we have to do is, are these the plants that grow in the abyss wastes? But anyways, we have to craft one of these, and we have to fight the boss. So let's start by fighting the boss. The information for it can be found in your upgraded Necronomicon. So here it is. Under Rituals, Abyssal Wasteland, and then on the second page, it takes a full 10,000 potential energy. Oh wait, this is to make the key. We're not there yet. So we're here. It takes 1,000 potential energy, and it summons a boss. Pretty easy ritual, so let's get it started. Alright, it's set up a ritual altar down here in the Abyssal Waste, or whatever this dimension's called. And let's do the ritual. Strangely, I noticed this ritual has no central item, so I assume I can just start it like this, and just confirm it does not take a sacrifice. I'm hoping this is enough space for it to go off too. Anyways, I expect this to summon a boss, and we'll have our Totem of Undying for safety. It's basically just an Ender Dragon. And apparently if I summon him here, he's stuck, so... Tough boss, guys, tough boss. Don't know how I'm gonna pull this one off. Anyways, I'll see you when he's dying. Pew, 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 pew. Well, we did it. Go us. Anyways, he drops... I hope he drops... Oh, yeah, he's still dropping stuff. There we go. He drops the Eye of the Abyss, which is what we were after. Everything else here is kind of bonus. So, next up, let's craft the Power Stone. So one of the components of the Power Stone, this Ember Crystal Cluster, has to be crafted with our Exchange Tablet again. So once again, we're starting at 24 of each and hoping for the best. Now that I've gone through the quest here, I think I remember how you're like the other way to get this. You can craft these Powered Stone trackers, and they'll lead to like a stronghold, kind of like how Eyes of Ender lead to an overworld stronghold. And then you can just like mine it up from there. But I think this is much easier. So 19, 19. So 24 plus 19, 34, 43 of each. And we should be good to go. Second time is the charm. Hopefully. Possibly. Maybe. Alright, anytime now. please. Does this process really need to take this long? Alright, so there's our Ember Crystal Cluster. And I think we can now craft this. Yep, saves us the trouble of having to go find one. And the last step is to upgrade our key with another ritual. And again, this ritual has to take place in the Abyssal Waste, and it takes all 10,000 potential energy. And that was my computer, not yours. So I went to recharge our book, and let's go get the fully charged book and upgrade our key. Here goes nothing. I should drain all 10,000 potential energy and make us the next tier key. Thankfully, for the time being, I think this is as far in Abyssal Craft as we have to go. So let's make this portal. So once again, we can just make a portal by clicking. So is that the right one? Shift click to create alternate portal. Shift click. No. Huh. I want the... Hold on. So that's one portal. That's the other portal. I'm just gonna go through it and see where it takes me. Yeah, this isn't where I wanted to go. So how do I make... Oh, do I have to click it in this dimension? Whoopsies, I didn't want to go through that. Hold on. I think I remember now. So I think to get to the next dimension... Ooh, don't hit me. Remember how that hit used to one-shot me? With our resistance and our extra health? That only did like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of our total health? I like it. I think I have to click here. No. Ah, there we go. So yeah, I have to normal right-click in the Dreadlands dimension to create the... or in the Abyssal Wastes to create the Dreadlands portal. So, the Dreadlands, a world of red and purple. But I think all we need for now is to get some of this Dreadstone, and we'll be good to go. I think we needed a little bit to make one of the machines, right? I think there are some unique ores in here that we'll need later too, but we'll come back here later. For now, this is all we need. So with our Dreadstone, oh, that's blocks of Dreadium. Hold on. For some reason, I thought it was just all Dreadstone. How do I get blocks of Dreadium? I think this ingot just drops from the Dread dimension, right? I'm hoping we can just get this dust as a drop in there somewhere. Hold on. Let's head back and check it out. Alright, so I think I figured it out. To get Dreadium, you have to transmute it with a Transmutator, which I think we can make. How do we get Cranium stone? Whatever, I'll deal with this step in a second. From Dreaded Shard of Abyssonite, which comes only as a mod drop from some of the more like elite mobs in this dimension. So I've been killing, I'm not sure if Shogoths drop it. Doesn't look like they do. But like these golems might. I'm not sure. I got some from a drop from something. I have 5. And I think it's the thing that looks like a tentacle monster. Let's see. Like that's one of the mini ones. But let's see if I can find a big one. Alright, I didn't find any of those tentacle monster dudes. But I did find these, what are they called? Dread Guards. And they have a lot of health. But they do also drop these shards. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try to tag one with our Ender Shard. So that if we end up needing a bunch of these, we can just spawn them. And yeah, they take a lot of shots to kill. Alright, well I'm going to kill a handful of these to get a bit more loot. Now to craft the Transmutator, we need Cranium bricks, which is just the Cranium stone that's found all over here, smelted, cool, and refined Cranium. So we got some of these ingots, I think from killing the boss. I actually wonder, do we get enough? We did not. We only got 5. So you can get this liquefied corallium ore that spawns pretty deep in the yeah, it can't be crafted, but it spawns pretty deep in the abyssal wasteland dimension. Looks like this stuff. And we need 2 blocks of it, so I'm going to go ahead and mine up a little bit of it. But the other way you can do it is, I think the ingots are craftable from chunks, which is a bunch of these corallium gem clusters. What is it? 972 make 1, and this smelts into 2. I guess it might smelt into 4, so I guess that's not too bad either. Either way, you got to mine a little bit in this dimension here, the abyssal wastes, to get the stuff you need. Alright, here is our transmutator, and I think it is powered by blaze, either dust or rods, either works. Since we have a lot of dust, I'm just going to use it. And with it we can turn these dread shards into the ingots. So this process will take a while. Let's let it run while we plan our next step. So originally, my plan was to make the builder, use it as a quarry to dig up a bunch of the various ores we need for mystical agriculture, right? Because we need a lot of like this Friscon and other stuff, and we'll just quarry out a huge amount of the Landia. But then I had a better idea. So here it is, the Dimlit Workbench. This is a part of RF Tools Dimensions, and what it does is it allows us to make dimlits, which are, I guess they like define the materials that spawn in a dimension. And namely, specifically, I am looking for, wow, this is a long list of stuff. These. I want to make a dimlet for blocks of the various, oh, these are the coals. Hold on. I thought these were blocks of like supremium. Are there? Is block of, one second. So my initial plan was to make like block of supremium dimlet, block of supremium essence or block of superium essence, right? So that we could just, if we get this as a resource, then we can directly, if we can make a dimension full of it, we can just go mine it. And I took a brief look at these blocks, and I saw those in there. I was like, oh yeah, this is a great idea. We'll just do this. But now that I look closely, it's actually block of coal, which is a lot less useful. So let's see, are there... I don't see regular block dimlets. That's a shame. Alright, then we'll have to go to our fallback plan. And that is, instead of making block or dimensions made of these blocks, we'll make them out of ore. Specifically, I want, let's see, these ores. The various Landia ores. So to craft one of these dimlets, we need, tough to say, but we'll start from the upper left. So we need a base part, a rarity 4 like circuit, and then like the triple thunderbolt part, and then the triple red light part. And the very important one though is the one in the lower right. That is a material absorber. Let's see, it's one of these. And what it does is it eats up like the various things. So like if we want to make a Friscon ore dimlet, we need a material absorber that's eaten 2 stacks of Friscon ore. So we can use our builder to, dig up a couple stacks of each of these things and prime the pump, so to speak. And I'm not sure if you heard that, but someone's driving very fast. So anyways, once we have these dimlets, we can make a dimension builder, which is a slightly more complicated recipe. We have to go, do a bit more stuff in Mechanism to get there. But a dimension builder, and that'll allow us to create that dimension. And then we can go exploit it for its resources. So anyways, this will probably make more sense once I actually do it. Let's start by building that builder. First comes the Crystallizer, which does it need fuel as well? I don't know what it's powered by. Not blaze powder. Maybe blaze powder? Alright, so I think it is powered by blaze powder. We can put blocks of tin here, and that'll make our tin crystals. So we did all this work to avoid doing the Mechanism route. We'll see if it was worth it. I'm thinking we might still be forced to do the mechanism route at some point, but I don't know. At least we were to put it off for now. So this should mean we can build our builder. Nice. So let's go set this up in Landia. So the basic setup for a builder is you just have to give it power. You can use quite a bit of power when it's running, so I avail myself to all the sides of the power cell. And remember, the power cell can transfer power interdimensionally, which is nice. You pay a tiny cost for it, 1.3% overhead. That's well worth the trouble of getting interdimensional power transfer. Then you have to put a shape card in there, and you have to, well, before we put the shape card in, we have to set the shape of the shape card. So if you just shift right click it, you can pull up this UI, and stupid thing, stop shooting me. The max size is 255 by 255. The height you want to set to your current Y level-ish, so like let's just set it to 80. And then the Y offset you want at half of your current height times -1. Personally, the tooltip's in the wrong spot. Anyways, I like to avoid all these basic materials. I don't care for them. And lastly, you can put it into here. Then you have to choose what corner of your digging area your builder is at. For us, let's see, I want to quarry this way. So I'm digging southwest, so that puts my quarry on the northeast corner, I think. Just click the button. Click show preview. It lags a little bit, and look at that, I picked the right corner. So it'll dig up everything in this area and turn it into dirt. Next up, we need to give it a place to put the stuff it digs up. So just I like to use ender chests for these. And to turn it on, you need a lever or any redstone signal, but a lever is great for this job. Turn it on, and a chunk loader is typically a good idea. The quarry will chunk load where it's working, but will not chunk load itself. And whatever, I'll just load 2 chunks. 2 chunk radius, perfect. So now this is running. It runs again pretty fast, but you'll see it'll fill up our chest here with basically everything it runs into. And because I'm digging up here, it will dig up trees, and we'll get like saplings, we'll get the various flowers. So let's head back to the overworld and set up a system to store all of this stuff. It'll probably just be a drawer system for now. Alright, so my strategy for now is to just take it out of the ender chest, put it into a buffer chest so I can see what items are coming in, and then we'll just assign drawer slots for all these items. So like marble, I presume that's not compactable. This drawer should not be locked. I typically keep a compacting drawer around just so I can test whether things are compactable. And non-compactable stuff, gets its drawer. Coal, not compactable. You get the idea. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and assign drawers to all this stuff. Clay is compactable. Neat. So that gets a compacting drawer. Okay, so yeah, I'll be back once we have all our inputs sorted. Alright, I assign a slot for each of the relevant ores. So all that's left is to concealment key it so that it doesn't cause any lag, and add it to our scanner. So let's see. I guess I can't do a scan from the remote tablet. I have to go to the actual storage scanner. I've kind of forgotten where I put it. Here it is. And they typically show up near the bottom. I'm looking for a drawer controller. Did I miss it? Anyways, I'll just find it. There you are. So I just have to mark it routable, and now its contents will show up in our tablet. So if we look for ore, we can see all of the let's look for like keyline ore, right? It shows up here. Cool. So next up, let's see. We want to make I think the dimension builder is the toughest of these because it takes an ultimate induction provider and an ultimate induction cell. The rest of these yeah, the rest of these are basic components that we already have or can easily craft. I may have overestimated or underestimated the difficulty of making the ultimate induction provider. So, for a moment, let's just assume the ultimate induction provider only costs 4 elite induction cells. We'll assume everything else is free. It isn't, spoiler, but just for simplification. So it's 4 elite induction cells. Likewise, we'll assume these only take 4 advanced induction cells. So we're looking at 16 advanced induction cells. We'll assume it only takes basic induction cells. Again, energy tablets free, storage cell free. They're not, but we'll assume we need a stack of basic induction cells. That's a stack of basic energy cubes and 4 stacks of energy tablets. Each one of these takes 2 enriched alloy. We're looking at 8 stacks of enriched alloy just to make the energy tablets, and another 2 stacks, so 6 stacks of energy tablets. That's 12 stacks of capacitors. So we're going to have to do something about our capacitor situation before we can tackle this. I was really hoping to use this to improve our capacitor situation, but it looks like that's not meant to be. Oh, and that's not to forget, all the stuff that isn't free, right? Like this takes even more energy tablets. And these alloys, guess what they're made of? Capacitors. Basically, everything here is like capacitor. Like it takes a billion jillion capacitors to make this stupid thing. So, yeah, we're gonna have to do better than we're doing now. Let me come up with a plan. Well, I thought about it a bit, and I think there's when you're looking at needing, multiple dozens of stacks of capacitors, there's realistically speaking only one way to do it, and that is to make a dedicated assembly line. So it's going to take a lot of inputs to make this capacitor, and I think the easiest way to harvest all those inputs is from mystical agriculture. So instead of having, like we need for the red alloy ingot, right? We need redstone, iron, this. If we have mystical agriculture, sweet, we can just craft it. The plastic we'll need to import from elsewhere because you can't craft that with mystical agriculture. And everything that goes into this, just about anyways, can be made with mystical agriculture. So we're going to have to set up a farm. In that case, first of all, let me warn you ahead of time. We're probably looking at like 2 to 3 episodes of content just to make this capacitor assembly line. It's going to be a lot of steps. So, but before we can even start that, we have to start, mystical agriculture. So, I guess let's jump right in. Step 1, maybe step 0, I'll say, is to make the imaginary time block. With this, we can use a single seed. Will provide all the resources we could dream of. Trust me. So, it's quite a recipe, but I think we can make it now. Let's see if I can even put 2 of these together. Alright, it's never that simple, is it? So I got through part of the recipe, and then I went to look for qubit crystals, and they take white gem wafers, which come from exoplanets tier 7. I think that's like Jupiter or something, Uranus. Yeah, we're not even close to being ready to do that. So there's one tiny possibility I'm going to try, and that is if the lens of the miner can get around that. If the lens of the miner can produce that white gem, then we'll keep going down this road. If not, we're going to have to shift gears again. Alright, set up a very basic system here. It's basically just we have a lens of the miner on our atomic reconstructor. It's getting pulsed by a timer, and block placer places stone, block breaker breaks whatever comes out, and we store it in here. Results tentatively are a little promising because we do have Neptune zinc ore, so we have an ore from Neptune. I just don't know if that is the right. I don't know if the actual, white gem ore is on the loot table. But we'll let this run a little bit, and I don't know. I don't think anything else we're getting here is particularly useful. But with any luck, maybe, just maybe, we can get Neptune White Gem and continue on our imaginary time block dreams. If this doesn't work out, we can go without. Instead of using an imaginary time block, we can use just like one of every other growth booster. A growth crystal, lily pads of fertility, sprinklers, etc., etc. The ritual from blood magic, and I think it'll still be fine. So just as a sanity check to make sure that these growth modifiers do stack reasonably well, I planted, just a test setup here, using so far just one growth crystal tier 3 and one lily pad of fertility. And yeah, I think it'll grow plenty fast. It takes, if we look at this, maybe 5 to 10 seconds on average for it to grow to full, which is a lot more than the quarter to half second it would take with the imaginary time block. But we can add more to this, right? We can add sprinklers, we can add the ritual of the green grove. So I think we can make this work. One small change I want to do too is that I want to switch our farm back over to withers. While the big brother does drop nether stars, he doesn't drop supremium essence. And we're going to need a fair bit of supremium essence. Supremium being the, I think it's like tier 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a tier 5 essence. So instead of having to craft it, we can, anywhere we need tier 5 essence, we can just get it from the wither farm. And actually, one of the first things I want to make is the infusion crystal. Let's see. So there's a bunch of tiers of infusion crystal, but the one I want to make is a master infusion crystal, because this one can, you can use it to make all the tiers of crafting. Like the Infernium infusion crystal can only do, Infernium to Prudentium. Likewise, the Prudentium one can only do Prudentium to Intermedium. So once we have the master one, it can do all of them, and it has infinite durability. But it takes 4 Insanium, and actually I think it takes more than, it takes 4 Insanium plus a regular infusion crystal, which it itself takes 4 more Insanium. And each Insanium is 4 Supremium. So we're looking at, what is that, somewhere around half a stack to a stack of Supremium before we can make our Master Infusion Crystal. So with, well, we actually have half a stack already. So maybe we have enough, but with the extra, 12 that we have here, and it's generating more as we speak. No, I should do something about all these extra items at some point. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to start by trying to make the Master Infusion Crystal. Alright, that didn't end up being all that bad. We can make the regular Infusion Crystal. Being able to have, ready access to Supremium actually made this process a lot easier. So with that, I think let's pull up the quest line. We are, yep, we are just about ready to make the Master Infusion Stone, I think. Hallelujah. Alright, so now that we have the Master Infusion Stone, we don't need any of these intermediate Infusion Stones anymore, because the Master Infusion Stone can do them all. And we're going to get this quest complete sound for a bit, I guess. So, right now we have plenty of Essence. I don't think we need to make the Essence Seed yet. Right, we have 61,000, and we have more from another 3,000 here. Yeah, I don't think we need to make the Essence Seed yet. We can go directly into making the various seeds that we need. So since we're trying to make these capacitors, let's see what seeds we need. I think Melodic is one of the more difficult ones. Like End Steel. So, I'm just going to make a list. It's going to be like, we're going to need End Steel. I think Chorus Fruit we can make. Landium we can't. So yeah, I'm gonna make a list, and I'm sure it'll be a pretty long list. Alright, what you're seeing on the screen now, I think, is a list of the various essences that go into making the capacitors. These 2 items at the bottom, I think, are easier to provide as, raw input than from essences. So, the ones marked with a star, I'm still unsure if I would rather, I can directly supply them ores from our sifting setup or something, or like dusts from our sifting setup, instead of crafting them with essences, and I think for now, that's my plan. So, I'm going to have to grow, or set up and grow lots of these things. And Landium ingots is another one that I don't have. They don't have an essence version, and our sifter doesn't produce. So I'll have to come up with some way to do supply that. Right now, our mob farm does produce it, so I guess that's probably where it'll come from. But anyways, yeah, this is. Let's count how many types of seeds I have to grow. 1, 2, 3. Empowered diamantine is another thing I don't quite have a clean way of making in bulk yet. So I just have that marked off as I'll supply that separately. So I guess that should go down here with this. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess it's only 8 types of essences. It's not as bad as I first thought. But let me craft all these seeds, and it'll be quite a bit of off-camera crafting that you, thankfully, don't have to watch. All right, so I looked at the seeds we have to craft, and depending on the tier of seeds, there's different ways of crafting them. So tier 1 and 2 seeds are crafted just in your simple crafting table. Easy enough. Tier 3 seeds are crafted on a runic altar. That's fine, we have a runic altar. And tier 5 seeds are crafted in the 5x5 advanced crafting table, which I believe we can make quite easily. Unfortunately, tier 4 seeds are crafted in the Starlight crafting altar, so we actually have to do just a little bit of astral sorcery before we can do this. And there are unfortunately 2 tier 4 seeds that we need. So I'm thinking, for now, I'll go ahead and just craft all the seeds except the tier 4s, and then we can wrap up this episode. Next episode, we'll do a brief foray into astral sorcery, just for the purposes of getting to the Starlight crafting altar, which is pretty early in the mod to craft tier 4 seeds. So anyways, how about let's wrap up this episode here. I'll do all the crafting between episodes because it's pretty dull, and next time, I'll see you with a little bit of astral sorcery. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.